If you're watching this in August 2025 and you want to completely end your food addiction by January 1st, 2026, this video is going to change absolutely everything for you. You had bariatric surgery. You initially lost 90 pounds, maybe 110 pounds, maybe more than that, and you felt incredible. You bought new clothes. People complimented you constantly. But now you maybe regained 20, 30, or maybe even more weight. And you're absolutely terrified that it's just going to keep going up. If that sounds like you, keep watching. I'm Jessica Lawson, and I've helped over 140 post-bariatric professionals stop regaining using brain rewiring techniques. And today, I'm going to walk you through the exact roadmap to end your food addiction once and for all. And this is the stuff that your doctor, nutritionist, therapist, whoever, they don't talk about. First, let me tell you what nobody, and I mean nobody, told you before you had your surgery. And that's that your surgery fixed your stomach, but it did not fix your brain's relationship with food. Think about it. You can only eat tiny amounts right now, right? So why are you still regaining weight? Why are you still obsessing over food? Why do you still find yourself stress eating or grazing throughout the day, even though your stomach's the size of a banana? It's because you're trying to solve a brain problem with willpower and restriction. And that's exactly why you keep cycling between being perfect on your plan and then completely failing off track. Your brain's still running the same emotional eating patterns, the same stress responses, the same decision fatigue that existed before your surgery. And here's the scary truth. Without addressing the brain component, 76% of bariatric patients regain significant weight within 5 years. Do you want to become part of that statistic? No, I know you don't. But here's what I know to also be true. You are not broken. Your surgery didn't fail. You didn't fail. You just need a brain first approach, and no one's ever taught you that, or probably even told you that's what you needed. Today, I'm walking you through the exact 5-month neuroplasticity timeline that will rewire your brain's relationship with food. It's the same system I've used with some of my clients who were 10, 15, even 20 years post-surgery and had given up hope of ever maintaining their weight loss again. This is not another diet plan. This is not about restriction or tracking every single bite forever. This is a comprehensive brain rewiring strategy designed specifically for high-achieving professionals who need systems that work with their demanding careers, not against them. And by the time that you walk into the year 2026, you'll have complete food freedom. No more obsessing, no more fear of regain, no more feeling out of control around food. Just automatic, effortless maintenance of your results while you focus on what really matters: your career, your family, your life. So let's dive in. Here's why everything you ever tried has never worked. Because you've probably been told your whole life you just need more self-control, more willpower. But here's what no one told you. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for willpower, is already maxed out, making over 200 decisions every single day as a professional. And that includes what time to wake up, what to wear, what emails to prioritize, how to handle that difficult client, whether to approve that budget request. And by the time you get to food decisions, your willpower tank is absolutely empty. That's why you can crush it at work all day long, and then you find yourself standing in the kitchen at 9 p.m. eating your kids' leftover mac and cheese or dino nuggets straight from the pot. It's not that you're weak. It's that you're asking your already exhausted brain to make just one more decision. Then there's restriction. And every program tells you to cut out foods, follow strict meal plans, track every bite, but restriction triggers your brain's scarcity response. Your primitive brain thinks there's a famine coming, so it actually increases your food obsession. You start thinking about food more, not less, and you start hoarding food mentally. You start binge eating because your brain's terrified it's not going to get enough. Here's the piece that everyone misses, is that surgery changed your stomach, but your limbic system, the emotional center of your brain, is still running on pre-surgery programming. All those emotional eating patterns, all those stress responses, all those automatic food thoughts, surgery didn't touch any of that. And if you're a high-achieving professional, someone killing it in their career, climbing the corporate ladder, maybe you have your own company, you've got 3 additional challenges that make this even harder. First up is decision fatigue reality. Every single food choice drains mental energy that you need for work performance. Questions like, should I have the salad or the soup? Regular latte or sugar-free? Pack lunch or buy something? That's what you have to think about. But by noon, you've made dozens of food micro decisions, and Each one chipped away at your cognitive resources, and that's mental energy that you could be using to close deals, lead meetings, or solve complex problems. The second challenge, stress eating patterns, because high pressure environments trigger emotional eating. Those responses that surgery couldn't fix. And that presentation that didn't go well, your brain wants to soothe with food. The client who's being unreasonable, food feels like comfort. The deadline that just got moved up, food feels like a quick stress reliever. Your post-surgical stomach might be smaller, but your brain's stress to food pathway is still fully intact. The last challenge, and here's the big one, the all or nothing thinking that creates shame spirals that drive regain. You're used to excelling at everything. You probably graduate top of your class. You exceed your sales targets. You get promoted ahead of schedule. So when you mess up your eating plan, your perfectionist brain says you've completely failed, right? That's what I know it's saying. One cookie becomes a whole entire sleeve. One bad meal becomes a bad week. 1 pound gain becomes, I've ruined everything, Jessica. And this is exactly why you need a brain-first approach designed specifically for professionals just like you. So now I'm going to teach you exactly how brain rewiring works so that you understand what needs to happen between now and January 1st, 2026. Step 1 is month 1, the foundation reset. August is all about setting your neurological foundation. Your brain has something called reticular activating system, and this is the filter that determines what you notice and what you ignore. Right now, if your identity tells you, I'm someone who struggles with food, your RAS is constantly finding evidence to prove that's true. You notice every time you overeat, every pound you gain, every craving you have. Here's how to hack it. When you shift your identity to I'm someone learning brain training skills, your RAS, it starts noticing evidence of that instead. You notice when you make a good choice, when you handle stress without food, when you feel in control. And your brain literally cannot build new neural pathways without adequate sleep. During REM sleep, your brain consolidates new connections and prunes old ones. So if you're getting less than 7 hours, you're fighting an uphill battle because your brain can't physically change. Chronic stress floods your system with cortisol, which is going to block neuroplasticity. When cortisol's high, your brain defaults to old established pathways, which means for the stress to food pathway. You must manage your stress first, or brain wiring is pretty much impossible. The nutrition piece in month 1 is all about decision elimination. Your prefrontal cortex runs on glucose. Every decision you make depletes this glucose supply. And by the time you've made 200 plus work decisions, there's no glucose left for food decisions. This is why you can be brilliant at work, but then eat crackers and chips from the box at night. The solution is meal planning and pre-deciding what you're going to be eating for all your meals of the day. Your tired brain doesn't have to choose. It just follows the predetermined plan. Protein and water tracking gives your brain data to make more automatic adjustments without the mental load of complex tracking. Month 2, system creation. September is all about environmental organization and stress response rewiring. Your environment triggers automatic behaviors through context-dependent memory. Every time you walk into your kitchen, your brain fires the same neural pattern. Scan for food. This happens below conscious awareness because you don't decide to look for food, your brain just kind of does it. So you need to change your environment in order to change your automatic response. Put healthy foods at eye level and convenience foods out of sight. Your brain will automatically reach for whatever's easiest and most visible. And this is not about willpower. This is leveraging how your visual cortex actually works. And your morning routine sets your dopamine baseline for the entire day. Dopamine drives motivation and decision-making. And if you start with high dopamine activities like checking your phone, everything else feels less rewarding. But if you start with moderate dopamine activities like movement or sunlight, you maintain better decision-making capacity all day long. For stress response rewiring, here's what you need to know, all right? When stress hits, your sympathetic nervous system activates. This shuts down your prefrontal cortex and activates your limbic system. Your brain has really just one solution for stress, whatever provided comfort before. For most people that are watching this video, that's food. But you can interrupt this pattern with a psychological sigh, a double inhale, followed by a long exhale. This activates your vagus nerve and shifts you from sympathetic to parasympathetic in 30 seconds. 2 breaths in, through your nose and a long exhale through your mouth. This literally changes your brain state. Another thing you do is expose yourself to the cold for 30 seconds. Cold water on your face or holding ice cubes activates your sympathetic nervous system internally, then trains your parasympathetic recovery. This builds stress resilience, so smaller stressors don't trigger the food response. Month 3, emotional mastery. So October is when we master your emotional eating patterns. Neural pathways fire in 0.2 seconds, faster than conscious thought. The trigger happens. The neural pathway fires, and you're already reaching for food before you even realize what's going on. The sequence is trigger, neural firing, physical sensation, food seeking. To interrupt this, you need to catch the physical sensation before the food seeking. Emotional triggers create physical sensations: tight chest, clenched jaw, stomach knot, shoulder tension. Train yourself to notice these sensations immediately. Now I want you to use the stop technique. When you notice the physical sensation, say stop out loud. Pause. Imagine you're pausing time. Think about what's going on and take 3 deep breaths and ask yourself, what do I actually really need right now? This creates a 30-second pause that allows your prefrontal cortex to come back online and make a conscious choice. Food provides temporary dopamine relief, but it doesn't actually solve the underlying emotional need. And if you're stressed, you need stress relief. Okay? If you're bored, you need stimulation. If you're lonely, you need connection. So 5 alternative strategies that work better than food. Movement for 2 minutes changes your brain's chemistry faster than food. Cold water on your wrist activates your vagus nerve. Calling someone for 5 minutes provides actual connection. Writing down 3 things you're grateful for shifts your neural activity to the prefrontal cortex. Progressive muscle relaxation releases physical tension. And all or nothing thinking is a cognitive distortion where your brain categorizes everything as perfect or completely failed. And so one cookie becomes, I've ruined everything, which becomes permission to eat the whole package. This happens because your brain wants cognitive consistency. And then spectrum thinking recognizes that all choices exist on a continuum. Eating 1 cookie is a 2 out of 10. Eating 3 cookies is a 4 out of 10. Eating the whole package, 8 out of 10. And this stops the shame spiral because you recognize that you can make a better choice with the very next decision. Month 4, integration and mastery. November's all about integrating everything into your professional life. Interoceptive awareness is your ability to sense what's happening inside your body: hunger, fullness, energy levels, satisfaction. And most people have damaged interoceptive awareness from years of dieting and external rules. So in order to build this, you must eat slowly and pause every few bites to assess your internal state. Rate your hunger from 1 to 10 before eating. Rate your satisfaction, energy during eating, and rate your fullness after eating. This trains your brain to pay attention to internal cues instead of external rules. For business meals, use the anchor strategy. Before you look at the menu, decide on your anchor. Protein first, veggies second, starch or complex carb if you want it. This gives your brain a framework so you're not making decisions with a depleted prefrontal cortex while trying to have a business conversation. Professional integration requires what I call seamless protocols, and you need strategies that work without drawing attention to your post-bariatric status. At restaurants, order first to avoid decision fatigue from hearing everyone else's choices. Use the half and half strategy. Eat half, automatically box the other half before you even start eating. And this removes the willpower component of stopping mid-meal. For travel, use the 3-2-1 rule. 3 hours before your flight, eat a protein-rich meal. 2 hours before, stop eating. 1 hour before, hydrate. This prevents travel hunger and airport food decisions when your brain is stressed from travel. Month 5, the long-term success system. December, it's all about bulletproofing everything for life, because your brain needs different systems for maintaining pathways versus building them. Maintenance requires less conscious effort, but more environmental support. So set up early warning systems. Weigh yourself weekly, not daily. Daily fluctuations create unnecessary stress. Weekly trends show actual changes. So if you're up 3 pounds for 2 consecutive weeks, activate your recovery protocol immediately. Create if-then implementation intentions. If I'm up 3 pounds, then I go back to protein tracking for 1 week. If I'm stressed about food, then I do 2 minutes of movement before I enter the kitchen. These pre-made decisions remove willpower from the equation. Life will test your neural pathways, and The key is rapid recovery, not perfect consistency. So when you deviate from your plan, you have 24 hours to get back on track before it becomes a pattern. I will also want to teach you about the 24-hour reset protocol. So acknowledge what happened without judgment. Identify what triggered the deviation and adjust your environment to prevent the same trigger. Return to your framework with very next meal. No shame, no starting over Monday, no punishment, just immediate course correction. And by January 1st, 2026, if you follow this plan, these responses will become automatic. Your brain defaults to healthy choices because that's what you've trained it to do, not because you're forcing it with willpower. So you're probably wondering, why will this work when everything else you've ever tried failed? I hear you. This works because we're working with your brain's actual operating system, not against it. Traditional approaches, they rely on willpower, which is a finite resource that depletes throughout the day. And this system creates automatic responses that do not require willpower. When your brain is trained to respond to stress with a psychological sigh instead of food, it just does that automatically. And most programs are designed for people with flexible schedules and unlimited mental bandwidth. This system acknowledges that your prefrontal cortex is already maxed out from work decisions. It removes decisions instead of adding more. Everything you just learned is based on neuroscience research, not diet industry mythology. Neuroplasticity, decision fatigue, interoceptive awareness, context-dependent memory. These are established scientific principles, not theories. And look, when you stop wasting mental energy on food decisions and food anxiety, that cognitive bandwidth gets redirected to your career. Decision fatigue drops, mental clarity increases, and professional confidence soars. Business dining becomes effortless because your brain has been trained to handle these situations automatically, and you can focus entirely on the business conversation instead of internal food anxiety. You get back thousands of units of mental energy that were being wasted on food thoughts. That's energy that you can use for strategic thinking, problem solving, and leadership presence. Now, here's what I want you to understand. August 2025 is the perfect time to begin this journey. You'll walk into 2026 completely free from food addiction, completely confident in your ability to maintain your results, and completely focused on what really matters in your life. Think about this for a second. You've already invested thousands in your weight loss journey. The surgery, the time off work, the new clothes, the emotional energy, the hope that you put into this transformation. And don't let that investment go to waste because you're missing the one piece that surgery couldn't fix: your brain's relationship with food. Here's what's different about this approach. It enhances your career success instead of competing with it. When you're not constantly thinking about food, when you're not battling decision fatigue around meals, when you're not dealing with the shame spiral of regain, all that mental energy gets redirected to your professional performance. And my clients consistently tell me that they get promoted faster. They perform better in high pressure situations, and they have more confidence in leadership roles after completing this brain rewiring system. You don't have to choose between career success and maintaining your weight loss. With the right brain-based approach, they actually reinforce each other. Are you ready to end your food addiction once and for all? Are you ready to walk into January 1st, 2026 with complete food freedom and zero fear of regain? If that's you, I want you to go to the description and book a free bariatric success strategy call with me. And on this call, we're going to dive into your specific situation, identify the brain patterns that are driving your regain, and create a customized plan to get you to food freedom by January. But here's why timing matters. In August 2025, starting then means January freedom. That's exactly 5 months of brain rewiring time. And if you wait until September, you're looking at February. If you wait until October, you're looking at March. And the neuroplasticity timeline doesn't care about your procrastination. So stop fearing regain, stop wasting mental energy on food obsession, stop letting your brain run on pre-surgery programming, and start living in food freedom. Book your call now. The link is in the description below, and let's get your brain working for you instead of against you. I'll see you in the next video.